Slow Living, written and published by Ngasline. Beneath the relentless drumbeat of modern productivity culture lies a radical truth that our ancestors understood intuitively. The richness of life expands not by cramming more into each moment, but by allowing ourselves to fully inhabit the moments we have. This counterintuitive wisdom, that doing less can lead to experiencing more, isn't just ancient philosophy. It's increasingly validated by research in psychology, neuroscience, and wellness studies. Like a fine wine that reveals its complex notes only to those who sip slowly, life's deepest pleasures and most meaningful connections often emerge in the unhurried spaces between our actions, in those precious moments when we step off the treadmill of constant doing and sink into the simple art of being. The slow living movement isn't about becoming unproductive or disconnecting from the world. It's about recalibrating our relationship with time itself, transforming it from an enemy to be battled into an ally that enriches every aspect of our experience. Lesson 1. Less rushing means more living. In our modern world, rushing has become as natural as breathing. We rush through breakfast, speed to work, race through meetings, and hurry through our evenings, all while planning how to squeeze more into tomorrow. This constant state of hurry has become so normalized that we barely notice its presence in our lives, yet its impact on our well-being is profound and far-reaching. Our rush culture stems from a misguided belief that faster always equals better. We've been conditioned to think that productivity and worth are measured by how much we can accomplish in the shortest amount of time. This mentality has created a society where being busy is worn as a badge of honor, and taking things slowly is often viewed as a sign of weakness or laziness. The cost of this perpetual hurrying is steep. Physically constant rushing triggers our stress response, flooding our bodies with cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this can lead to burnout, compromised immune function, and various stress-related health issues. Mentally, rushing prevents us from fully processing our experiences, leading to decreased memory formation and reduced cognitive function. Emotionally, it robs us of the ability to truly connect with others and appreciate life's moments, big and small. Consider how often you rush through activities that could be sources of pleasure. That morning cup of coffee becomes a utilitarian caffeine delivery system rather than a moment of peaceful contemplation. The walk to work transforms from an opportunity to observe the world around you into a race against the clock. Even meals with loved ones can become rushed affairs, where conversation is minimal and enjoyment is secondary to completion. The good news is that we can learn to identify unnecessary rushing in our lives and consciously choose to slow down. Start by becoming aware of your rushing patterns. Notice when you're moving quickly out of genuine necessity versus habit or perceived pressure. Are you really saving meaningful time by rushing through your morning routine, or are you simply maintaining a pattern that leaves you feeling frazzled? Practical techniques for slowing down daily activities can be surprisingly simple. Try setting your alarm 15 minutes earlier to eliminate morning rush. When eating, put your utensils down between bites. When walking, deliberately slow your pace and observe your surroundings. When speaking with others, practice listening fully without planning your response while they're still talking. Technology, while incredibly useful, often contributes to our rushing tendencies. Consider implementing technology-free periods in your day. This might mean leaving your phone in another room during meals or designating specific times for checking emails rather than responding immediately to every notification. The art of doing things slowly extends beyond physical pace to mental approach. Rather than multitasking, which often results in doing several things poorly while feeling rushed, try single tasking. Give your full attention to one activity at a time. This not only improves the quality of your work, but also reduces the mental strain of constant task. Switching. As you begin to slow down, you might notice initial discomfort or anxiety. This is normal. Our bodies and minds have become accustomed to operating at high speed, and deceleration can feel unnatural at first. Be patient with yourself as you adjust to a slower pace. Notice how slowing down actually allows you to accomplish tasks more effectively and enjoyably. Slowing down doesn't mean becoming inactive or unproductive. Instead, it means moving through life with greater intention and awareness. When we rush less, we create space for deeper experiences, clearer thinking, and more meaningful connections. We begin to notice details we previously missed, find joy in simple activities, and develop a richer appreciation for the present moment. The choice to slow down is a radical act in our rush-driven world. It requires courage to step out of the fast lane and trust that life's richness isn't found in how quickly we move through it, but in how fully we experience each moment along the way. Lesson 2. Pause daily to find life's sweetness. In our fast-paced world, we often rush through our days without truly experiencing them. The simple act of pausing can transform ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences, allowing us to savor life's inherent sweetness. These mindful pauses aren't about stopping everything completely. Rather, they're about creating space to fully experience what's already happening around us. The power of a mindful pause lies in its ability to shift our perspective. When we consciously stop to notice our surroundings, our breathing, or our current emotional state, we begin to appreciate the richness of each moment. This might mean taking a few deep breaths before starting your car, feeling the warmth of your morning coffee cup against your palms, or watching shadows dance across your desk during afternoon light. Creating daily rituals helps embed these pauses naturally into our routine. A ritual differs from a habit in that it carries deeper meaning and intention. Your morning ritual might involve brewing tea with complete attention, listening to the kettle whistle, watching the leaves unfurl, and inhaling the aromatic steam before taking your first sip. Evening rituals could include lighting a candle, taking a slow walk around your neighborhood, or spending a few minutes in quiet reflection before bed. Mindfulness practices strengthen our ability to pause and notice life's details. Start with simple exercises like focusing on your breath for 5 minutes each morning or paying full attention to the sensations of washing dishes. As you become more comfortable with these practices, you'll naturally find yourself pausing throughout the day to notice beautiful moments that might have previously passed unobserved. The joy in ordinary moments reveals itself when we slow down enough to notice it. The sound of children laughing in the distance, the way sunlight filters through leaves, or the satisfaction of folding warm laundry. These everyday experiences contain hidden treasures of contentment when we give them our full attention. By creating space for these observations, we enhance our daily experience without adding anything new to our lives. Regular pauses also help us regulate our emotional responses and reduce stress. When we feel overwhelmed, taking a conscious break to breathe and observe our surroundings can help reset our nervous system. These moments of stillness allow us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively to life's challenges. Incorporating mindful pauses throughout your day doesn't require significant time investment. Start with natural transitions, the moment before you enter your workplace, while waiting for your computer to boot up, or before beginning your meal. Use these existing pauses as opportunities to check in with yourself and your surroundings. The practice of pausing extends beyond personal moments of quiet reflection. It can enhance our relationships by helping us listen more attentively and respond more thoughtfully in conversations. When we pause before speaking, we create space for deeper understanding and more meaningful connections with others. As you develop this practice, you'll discover that life's sweetness often lies in these pause points, the spaces between activities where we can fully experience the present moment. These pauses become like punctuation marks in the story of your day, giving rhythm and meaning to your experiences. The beauty of cultivating daily pauses is that they're always available to us. Whether you're in a busy office, on public transport, or at home with family, you can always find moments to pause and connect with your present experience. These brief intervals of mindfulness gradually transform how you experience your entire day, making even the most routine activities feel more alive and meaningful. Learning to pause is itself a journey that requires patience and practice. Start small, perhaps with just 1 or 2 intentional pauses each day, and gradually build from there. As this practice becomes more natural, you'll find yourself spontaneously pausing to appreciate life's subtle beauties, creating a richer, more satisfying daily experience. Lesson 3. Nature moves slowly, so should you. Nature has always been our greatest teacher, yet in our modern world, we've largely forgotten its wisdom. The natural world operates on its own timeline, unconcerned with our human schedules, deadlines, and rushing. Trees take years to reach maturity. Flowers bloom when conditions are right, and seasons change at their own measured pace. By observing and aligning ourselves with these natural rhythms, we can learn valuable lessons about living a slower, more meaningful life. Think about how a seed transforms into a plant. It doesn't rush its growth or try to compete with other seeds. Instead, it responds to its environment, taking in water and nutrients at a pace that allows for healthy development. This natural process can't be rushed. Attempting to force faster growth often results in weak, unstable plants. Similarly, our own growth and development require patience and the right conditions to flourish. The changing of seasons provides another powerful lesson in embracing natural rhythms. Each season brings its own energy and purpose. Winter encourages rest and reflection. Spring brings renewal and fresh starts. Summer offers abundance and activity, while autumn teaches us about letting go and preparing for quiet times ahead. When we fight against these natural cycles by maintaining the same hectic pace year-round, we miss opportunities for rest, growth, and natural transitions. Connecting with nature doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic lifestyle changes. It can be as simple as spending a few minutes each day observing the sky, feeling the wind on your face, or watching birds go about their daily routines. These small moments of connection help reset our internal pacing and remind us that not everything needs to happen at high speed. Consider incorporating natural rhythms into your daily life by aligning your activities with the sun's movement. Rise with the sun when possible, allowing natural light to wake you gently. Take breaks during the day to step outside, even if just for a few minutes. As evening approaches, begin winding down your activities as the light fades. This natural alignment helps our bodies maintain healthy circadian rhythms and promotes better sleep and overall well-being. Seasonal living offers another way to embrace nature's slower pace. Instead of eating the same foods year-round, choose seasonal produce that connects you to the natural growing cycle. Adjust your activities to match the energy of each season. More outdoor activities in spring and summer, more indoor reflection during autumn and winter. This approach not only supports sustainable living, but also helps us feel more in tune with the world around us. Living in harmony with nature also means accepting that some things are beyond our control. Just as we can't command the weather or force flowers to bloom out of season, we can't control every aspect of our lives. This understanding helps us develop patience and resilience, qualities that support a slower, more mindful way of living. Creating a nature-inspired lifestyle means making conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy. It might mean starting a small garden, even if it's just a few herbs on a windowsill, to observe and participate in the growing process. It could involve regular walks in natural settings, whether a local park or a wilderness area, to remind ourselves of nature's unhurried pace. These activities ground us in the present moment and help counteract the artificial speed of modern life. Nature teaches us that everything has its proper time and pace. When we rush through life, we miss the subtle changes and small miracles happening around us every day. By slowing down to nature's rhythm, we open ourselves to deeper connections with the world around us and discover a more sustainable way of living. Just as nature moves through its cycles with patience and persistence, we too can learn to move through our lives with greater ease and appreciation for the present moment. Lesson 4. Simple pleasures bring deepest joy. Life's most profound joys often come wrapped in the simplest packages. A warm cup of coffee on a quiet morning, the sound of rain against the window, or a genuine laugh shared with a friend. These seemingly ordinary moments hold extraordinary power to fill our lives with genuine happiness. In our modern world of endless pursuits and constant stimulation, we've somehow lost touch with the beautiful simplicity that makes life truly rich. Simple pleasures are deeply personal and unique to each individual. For some, It might be the ritual of preparing a home-cooked meal, while others find joy in tending to a small garden or reading a book in a cozy corner. These pleasures don't require expensive purchases or elaborate plans. They're readily available and often cost nothing at all. The key lies in identifying what genuinely brings you peace and contentment, rather than what society tells you should make you happy. To discover your simple pleasures, start by paying attention to the moments that naturally bring a smile to your face or create a sense of calm in your body. Perhaps it's the first sip of tea in the morning, the feel of fresh sheets on your bed, or the warmth of sunlight on your skin. These small delights are everywhere, waiting to be noticed and appreciated. Keep a mental or written note of these moments, and you'll begin to see patterns in what truly brings you joy. Cultivating appreciation for simple pleasures requires us to slow down and become more present. When we rush through life, we miss the subtle beauty that surrounds us. Take time to fully experience these moments, feel the textures, notice the colors, breathe in the scents. This mindful approach to everyday experiences transforms routine activities into sources of genuine pleasure and satisfaction. Minimalism plays a crucial role in accessing these simple joys. When our lives are cluttered with excess, whether it's physical possessions, commitments, or digital distractions, we have less space to appreciate life's subtle pleasures. By intentionally reducing what we own and do, we create room for more meaningful experiences. This doesn't mean living an austere life. Rather, it's about choosing quality over quantity and being selective about what we allow into our lives. Contentment flourishes in simplicity. When we learn to find joy in small things, we become less dependent on external circumstances for our happiness. This shift in perspective is liberating. We no longer need to chase bigger, better, or more expensive experiences to feel fulfilled. Instead, we can find satisfaction in the gentle rhythm of daily life and the simple pleasures that punctuate our days. Creating space for joy involves both physical and mental decluttering. Consider designating specific areas in your home for activities that bring you pleasure. A reading nook, a meditation corner, or a spot by the window where you can watch birds. Similarly, clear mental space by reducing information overload and setting boundaries with technology. These intentional choices help create an environment where simple pleasures can flourish. Simple pleasures often involve engaging our senses. The touch of a soft blanket, the smell of fresh bread baking, the sound of wind in the trees. These sensory experiences ground us in the present moment and connect us to the simple joy of being alive. Pay attention to which sensory experiences particularly resonate with you, and make time to incorporate them into your daily life. Building a life around simple pleasures doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of discovering what truly matters to you and learning to appreciate the beauty in ordinary moments. Start small, perhaps by savoring your morning routine or taking a few minutes each day to do something that brings you quiet joy. As you cultivate this practice, you'll find that life becomes richer and more satisfying, not because you've added more to it, but because you've learned to appreciate what's already there. The deepest joy often comes from the simplest sources. By shifting our attention from the extraordinary to the ordinary, from the complex to the simple, we open ourselves to a more authentic and sustainable form of happiness. This is the true essence of slow living, finding contentment not in grand gestures or achievements, but in the quiet pleasure of everyday moments. Lesson 5. Rest is not lazy, it's essential. In our achievement-driven society, rest has become somewhat of a dirty word. We've been conditioned to believe that constant productivity is the key to success, and taking breaks is somehow a sign of weakness or laziness. This couldn't be further from the truth. Rest is not just a luxury, it's a biological necessity that enables us to function at our best and live more fulfilling lives. The human body operates on a complex system of rhythms and cycles, with rest playing a crucial role in maintaining our physical and mental well-being. Scientific research has consistently shown that adequate rest improves cognitive function, enhances creativity, strengthens our immune system, and helps regulate our emotions. When we deny ourselves proper rest, we're actually working against our natural biology and diminishing our capacity to perform and enjoy life. Rest comes in many forms, and understanding these different types can help us incorporate them more effectively into our lives. Physical rest, the most obvious type, involves giving our bodies time to recover and repair through sleep and relaxation. Mental rest allows our minds to process information and regenerate, while emotional rest helps us maintain psychological balance and resilience. Social rest involves taking breaks from interactions and finding solitude, while spiritual rest connects us with something larger than ourselves and helps us find meaning in life. Many of us carry a deep-seated guilt about taking rest, stemming from societal messages that equate rest with unproductiveness. This rest guilt can manifest as an inability to relax without feeling anxious, constantly checking work emails during vacation, or pushing through exhaustion instead of taking a much-needed break. Overcoming rest guilt requires a fundamental shift in how we view rest, not as an indulgence, but as an investment in our well-being and capabilities. Creating restful routines doesn't mean withdrawing from life or becoming inactive. Instead, it's about finding a sustainable rhythm that allows for both productivity and recovery. This might involve establishing a consistent sleep schedule, taking short breaks throughout the day, or dedicating specific times for activities that help you recharge. The key is to make rest intentional rather than waiting until exhaustion forces you to stop. The quality of rest matters just as much as the quantity. Mindless scrolling through social media, while often perceived as restful, can actually leave us feeling more drained. True rest involves activities that allow our bodies and minds to genuinely recover and reset. This might mean reading a book in a quiet corner, taking a leisurely walk, practicing meditation, or simply sitting in silence and allowing your thoughts to settle. Rest also plays a crucial role in our relationships and creative endeavors. When we're well rested, we're more patient, empathetic, and better able to connect with others. Rest provides the mental space needed for creativity to flourish and new ideas to emerge. Many great insights and innovations have come during periods of rest, when our minds are free to wander and make unexpected connections. Understanding and honoring our personal rest needs is essential for sustainable well-being. Everyone's rest requirements are different, influenced by factors like personality, lifestyle, and circumstances. Learning to recognize your own signs of fatigue and responding appropriately is a valuable skill that develops with practice and self-awareness. Creating a life that prioritizes rest doesn't happen overnight. It requires conscious choices and sometimes saying no to demands that would compromise our need for rest. By viewing rest as essential rather than optional, we can begin to design our lives in a way that supports our well-being rather than depleting it. Choosing to rest isn't being lazy. It's being wise about managing your most precious resources, your energy and attention. The next time you feel guilty about taking a break, remind yourself that rest is not the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation of it. By embracing rest as a vital part of a well-lived life, you're not only taking care of yourself, but also enhancing your ability to contribute meaningfully to the world around you. Lesson 6. Tomorrow's worries steal today's peace. Our minds have an incredible capacity to time travel, but this remarkable ability often becomes our greatest source of distress. We spend countless hours dwelling on future scenarios that may never materialize, robbing ourselves of the peace and contentment available in the present moment. The art of slow living invites us to anchor ourselves firmly in the now where life actually happens. The human tendency to worry about tomorrow is deeply ingrained in our survival instincts. Our ancestors needed to anticipate potential dangers and plan for future needs. However, in our modern world, this forward-thinking mechanism often goes into overdrive, creating anxiety about circumstances far beyond our control. We worry about career trajectories 5 years from now, relationships that haven't even begun, and problems that exist only in our imagination. Living in the present doesn't mean abandoning all thought of the future. Instead, it means maintaining a healthy balance between prudent planning and peaceful presence. When we find ourselves caught in the spiral of future-oriented anxiety, we can practice gentle redirection of our attention to the current moment. This might involve focusing on the sensation of our breath, the feeling of our feet on the ground, or the sounds in our immediate environment. Mindfulness techniques serve as powerful tools for managing future-oriented worry. One effective practice involves acknowledging our concerns without becoming entangled in them. Like watching clouds pass across the sky, we can observe our worried thoughts drift by without attaching to them or letting them dictate our emotional state. This detachment helps us recognize that thoughts about the future are just that, thoughts, not certainties. Uncertainty is a natural part of life, yet we often resist it fiercely. Learning to find peace amid uncertainty represents a crucial aspect of slow living. We can cultivate this acceptance by regularly reminding ourselves that change is constant and that our inability to control every outcome doesn't diminish our capacity to enjoy the present moment. In fact, embracing uncertainty can lead to a more adventurous and authentic life experience. The practice of staying present requires patience and consistent effort. When we catch ourselves projecting into the future, we can gently guide our attention back to the current moment by engaging our senses. What do we see, hear, smell, taste, or feel right now? This simple exercise grounds us in reality rather than speculation. Regular meditation, even for just a few minutes daily, strengthens our ability to maintain present moment awareness. Another valuable approach involves setting specific times for planning and problem solving rather than allowing these activities to consume our entire day. By allocating dedicated periods for future-oriented thinking, we create boundaries that protect our present moment peace. Outside these designated times, we can focus on fully experiencing and appreciating what's happening now. Physical activities can serve as natural anchors to the present moment. Whether through gardening, cooking, walking, or creating art, engaging in tasks that require our immediate attention naturally pulls us away from future worries. These activities remind us that life happens in the present, not in our projections of tomorrow. Developing trust in our ability to handle whatever comes our way builds resilience and reduces anxiety about the future. Reflecting on past challenges we've overcome can strengthen this trust. We can remind ourselves that we've faced uncertainties before and found ways to adapt and grow through them. The peace we seek rarely lies in knowing exactly what will happen tomorrow. Instead, it comes from fully inhabiting today, appreciating its gifts, and trusting in our capacity to meet future challenges as they arise. When we release our grip on tomorrow's worries, we free ourselves to experience the richness of the present moment, where true joy and contentment reside. Lesson 7. Small moments make a rich life. Life's most precious memories often come from the smallest, most ordinary moments. While we tend to focus on big achievements and milestone events, it's the daily experiences that weave together to create the tapestry of a meaningful life. The way sunlight streams through your window during morning coffee, the sound of children laughing in the distance, or the comfort of sliding into fresh sheets at night, these seemingly insignificant moments hold profound beauty when we learn to recognize and celebrate them. Creating meaningful traditions doesn't always require elaborate planning or special occasions. Something as simple as a Sunday morning walk, reading a chapter of a book before bed, or sharing tea with a loved one can become a cherished ritual that adds depth and texture to your days. These small traditions serve as anchors, grounding us in the present moment and creating a sense of continuity in our lives. Documenting simple joys can enhance our appreciation for these everyday moments. Whether through photographs, journaling, or simply pausing to fully absorb an experience, recording these instances helps us recognize the abundance of beauty in our daily lives. Take time to capture the way your garden changes through the seasons, the evolution of your child's artwork on the refrigerator, or the familiar comfort of your neighborhood streets at different times of day. Building a life rich in small pleasures requires intentional awareness and cultivation. Start by identifying the little things that bring you joy. Perhaps it's the first sip of morning coffee, the texture of your favorite sweater, or the sound of rain on the roof. Once you recognize these sources of happiness, create space in your day to fully experience them. Rather than rushing through these moments, pause to engage your senses and allow yourself to be fully present. Small moments also provide opportunities for connection with others. Sharing a laugh with a colleague, exchanging smiles with a stranger, or having a brief chat with your neighbor can create ripples of positivity that enhance both your day and theirs. These brief interactions, though fleeting, contribute to our sense of community and belonging. Consider creating a collection of small pleasures, physical objects, photographs, or written memories that remind you of life's simple joys. This collection can serve as a tangible reminder of the richness present in everyday life and provide comfort during challenging times. It might include pressed flowers from your garden, ticket stubs from local events, or notes from friends. The practice of celebrating small moments extends beyond personal experience to family and community life. Establishing simple family traditions like weekend pancake breakfasts or evening walks creates lasting memories and strengthens bonds. These shared experiences, though modest, form foundation of our most treasured relationships and memories. Learning to find joy in small moments also helps build resilience. When we recognize that happiness exists in ordinary experiences, we become less dependent on external circumstances or major events for our contentment. This shift in perspective allows us to maintain a sense of well-being even during life's inevitable challenges. Building a life rich in small pleasures is an ongoing practice. Each day brings countless opportunities to notice and celebrate the beauty in ordinary moments. By cultivating awareness of these experiences, we enhance our capacity for joy and create a more meaningful and satisfying life. The key lies not in seeking extraordinary experiences, but in recognizing the extraordinary nature of ordinary moments. As you move through your days, challenge yourself to discover new sources of simple pleasure. Notice the patterns of light on your wall, the rhythm of your breathing, or the satisfaction of completing a small task. Each moment of awareness adds another thread to the rich tapestry of your life, creating a masterpiece composed of countless small but significant experiences. Lesson 8. Busy isn't better, it's just busy. In our modern society, busyness has become a strange badge of honor. When someone asks how we're doing, we often respond with busy as if it's an accomplishment rather than a state of being. We've created a culture where being overwhelmed with tasks and commitments is seen as a sign of importance, success, and productivity. But let's challenge this notion. Busy isn't better, it's just busy. The myth of busyness has deep roots in our achievement-oriented society. We've been conditioned to believe that a packed calendar equals a meaningful life, that constant motion equals progress, and that saying yes to everything equals success. This couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, busyness often serves as a distraction from what truly matters in our lives, and it can prevent us from experiencing genuine fulfillment. When we operate in a perpetual state of busyness, we sacrifice quality for quantity. We rush through experiences, conversations, and tasks without fully engaging in any of them. Our relationships suffer as we squeeze in quick coffee dates between meetings. Our work suffers as we multitask, instead of focusing deeply on one thing at a time. Our personal growth suffers as we fill every moment with activity, rather than allowing space for reflection and creativity. Learning to say no gracefully is an essential skill in breaking free from the busyness trap. Many of us feel obligated to say yes to every request, invitation, or opportunity that comes our way. We fear missing out, disappointing others, or being perceived as uncommitted. However, saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. By declining activities that don't align with our values or priorities, we create space for what truly matters. Consider this approach to saying no. Be honest, be brief, and be kind. You don't need elaborate excuses or apologies. A simple thank you for thinking of me, but I need to decline is sufficient. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, often to your own well-being, family time, or personal projects. Prioritizing what matters requires careful consideration of how we spend our time and energy. Start by identifying your core values and most important relationships. These should be the foundation of your decisions about how to use your time. Ask yourself, does this activity align with my values? Will it enhance my key relationships? Will it contribute to my long-term well-being? If the answer is no, perhaps it's time to let it go. Creating boundaries around your time and energy isn't just about saying no to others. It's also about saying no to your own tendencies to overcommit. Pay attention to when you're filling your schedule out of habit, guilt, or fear rather than genuine desire or necessity. Notice when you're using busyness as an escape from uncomfortable emotions or challenging situations. Quality time spent on fewer, more meaningful activities will always be more rewarding than quantity time spread thinly across numerous commitments. This might mean attending fewer social events, but being fully present at the ones you choose. It might mean taking on fewer projects at work, but executing them with excellence. It might mean having fewer friendships, but nurturing deeper connections with those who matter most. Your worth isn't measured by how busy you are. You don't need to prove your value through constant activity. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is slow down, step back, and carefully choose where to direct your precious time and energy. Being busy isn't a personality trait. It's a choice, and you have the power to choose differently. Start viewing your time as a valuable resource to be invested wisely rather than a void to be filled with activity. When you release the need to be constantly busy, you create space for what truly enriches your life: meaningful relationships, personal growth, creativity, rest, and joy. After all, at the end of our lives, we won't wish we'd been busier. We'll wish we'd been more present for the moments and people that mattered most. Lesson 9. Time enjoyed is never wasted. The modern world has conditioned us to believe that every minute must be spent productively, pursuing goals, achieving milestones, or working towards some tangible outcome. This mindset has created a generation of people who feel guilty when they're not actively producing something. Yet some of life's most enriching moments come when we step away from conventional productivity and embrace activities purely for their enjoyment. True productivity isn't about cramming more tasks into each hour or maintaining a perpetually full calendar. Instead, it's about living meaningfully and deriving genuine satisfaction from how we spend our time. When we engage in activities that bring us joy, inspire creativity, or allow us to connect deeply with others, we're not wasting time. We're investing it in our well-being and personal growth. Leisure has become a lost art in our achievement-oriented society. Many view it as an indulgence, or worse, a sign of laziness. However, leisure time serves as a crucial component of a well-lived life. It provides space for reflection, allows our minds to wander and make new connections, and helps us maintain perspective on what truly matters. Whether reading a book without rushing to finish it, taking a leisurely walk with no destination in mind, or spending an afternoon in meaningful conversation with friends, these moments contribute significantly to our quality of life. The key to reclaiming the value of enjoyed time lies in shifting our perspective on what constitutes productive use of our hours. When we engage in activities that rejuvenate our spirit, spark our creativity, or deepen our relationships, we're building the foundation for a more fulfilling existence. This might mean spending an hour watching butterflies in your garden, dedicating time to learning a new hobby with no practical application, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation. Finding balance between traditional productivity and enjoyable leisure requires intentional choices about how we spend our time. It's about recognizing that not every moment needs to be optimized for maximum efficiency. Sometimes, the most valuable way to spend an afternoon is doing something that serves no purpose other than bringing joy or peace. This might mean turning down opportunities that look good on paper, but don't align with our values, or choosing to spend time in ways that others might not understand or appreciate. We must also challenge the notion that time spent on personal interests or pursuits without obvious practical benefits is somehow less valuable. The artist who spends hours perfecting a painting that will never be sold, the amateur musician who practices purely for personal enjoyment, or the gardener who tends their flowers simply for the pleasure of watching them grow. These individuals understand that the value of time isn't always measured in tangible outcomes. Learning to use time intentionally doesn't mean scheduling every moment or setting goals for all activities. Instead, it means being present and conscious in our choices about how we spend our hours. It means giving ourselves permission to engage in activities simply because they bring us happiness or peace. When we approach time this way, we begin to see that moments spent in enjoyment contribute as much to our life's richness as those spent in traditional productivity. The art of balancing productive time with enjoyed time requires practice and often means resisting societal pressure to always be doing something. It means recognizing that rest, relaxation, and enjoyment are not rewards to be earned after completing our work. They are essential components of a well-lived life. When we give ourselves permission to enjoy time without guilt, we often find that our traditionally productive hours become more effective and satisfying as well. Time enjoyed is time well spent because it enriches our lives in ways that can't be measured by conventional metrics of productivity. It builds our capacity for joy, strengthens our relationships, enhances our creativity, and contributes to our overall well-being. When we look back on our lives, it's rarely the extra hours spent at work or the additional tasks we completed that we remember most fondly. It's the moments we spent fully engaged in activities that brought us genuine pleasure and satisfaction. Lesson 10. Life slows down when you do. The journey to slow living isn't a destination, but rather a continuous evolution of habits, mindsets, and daily choices. As you've learned throughout this book, embracing a slower pace requires intentional effort and dedication. The beauty lies in knowing that each small step you take towards slowing down creates ripples that affect every aspect of your life. Creating sustainable changes begins with accepting that transformation takes time. Just as a seed needs time to grow into a tree, your new, slow-living practices need time to take root and flourish. Start by choosing one area of your life where you feel the most rushed or overwhelmed. Perhaps it's your morning routine, your workday, or your evening wind down. Focus on implementing small, manageable changes in this single area before moving on to others. Building new habits requires patience and self-compassion. Research shows that it takes anywhere from 21 to 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. During this period, you might find yourself slipping back into old patterns of rushing and overcommitting. Instead of viewing these moments as failures, see them as opportunities to practice mindfulness and make conscious choices about how you want to proceed. The key to maintaining slow-living practices lies in making them enjoyable and sustainable. If waking up earlier to have a peaceful morning feels like punishment, you're less likely to stick with it. Instead, create routines and rituals that bring you genuine pleasure. Perhaps you'll discover that sipping your morning coffee while watching the sunrise becomes a cherished part of your day, or that taking an evening walk helps you transition from work to relaxation more effectively than rushing through tasks until bedtime. Consider the role of technology in your slow-living journey. While digital devices can be valuable tools, they often contribute to our sense of urgency and constant connection. Establish clear boundaries around technology use, such as designated phone-free hours or rooms in your home where devices aren't welcome. These boundaries create space for genuine presence and connection with yourself and others. The long-term benefits of embracing slow living extend far beyond simply feeling less rushed. People who successfully integrate slow living principles into their lives often report improved relationships, better health outcomes, increased creativity, and a deeper sense of satisfaction with life. They find themselves making better decisions, feeling more connected to their communities, and experiencing greater overall well-being. Slow living isn't about doing everything at a snail's pace or completely withdrawing from modern life. Instead, it's about making conscious choices about where to invest your time and energy. Some activities and responsibilities might still require speed and efficiency, but the difference lies in approaching them with intention rather than automatic rushing. As you continue your slow-living journey, pay attention to how your perspective shifts. You might notice that tasks that once felt urgent now seem less pressing, or that experiences you previously rushed through now bring unexpected joy when savored. These subtle changes in perception are signs that your new habits are taking root and transforming your relationship with time. Share your slow living experiences with others who express interest in making similar changes. Building a community of like-minded individuals can provide support, accountability, and inspiration as you navigate this countercultural approach to life. Your example might inspire others to question their own relationship with time and busyness. The most profound truth about slow living is that life naturally slows down when you make the conscious choice to slow yourself down first. When you stop rushing from one moment to the next, you create space for life's natural rhythm to emerge. In this space, you'll discover that many of the things you've been chasing were already within your grasp. They were simply moving too quickly to notice or appreciate them fully.